This is my Russian hat, which I wear all winter long, but it reminded me that some 30 years ago a friend of mine was running a little village hall party with a Russian theme to it. Had I got anything to lend him? So I said, yes, there's a chessboard. And they got two friends to sit in the middle of the room, playing a game of chess, wearing a Russian hat, but the only thing is, the chessboard was this one. Very, very small. All the pieces here are made of cast metal, beautifully made. I'm working on the Grunfeld defence at the moment, well, whatever. And they sat there all evening playing this ridiculous game of chess, using pairs of tweezers in order to move the pieces of chess. And it was a great success, as you can imagine. Well, this is just one of the items which I picked up in 1990, which is a good time for me. This case had a lot of very clever ideas. But I've got a few other things to show you as well. So this, for instance, is a fairly well-known item nowadays, but 24 years ago, this was quite unknown. I'd never come across it before. It's actually for a deck of cards, for a person to hold a meld of cards in their hand comfortably if they've got slightly stiff arthritic hands. It holds the pieces very comfortably and it allows them to look at the cards themselves with just one hand. Clever idea, very simple and practical. There's a little screw here to tighten up the spring to make it hold very firmly. That appeared at that time. Then there was a lovely guy in the Japanese toy, in the Nuremberg Toy Fair, who I met many, many years, and I still do there, who made these charming little Matchbox Theatres. So inside here was a little piece to make a theatre, very small matchbox. And he still makes them, and no one's ever copied them. And the result is these little beauties, which I made up from other designs. Each has a proscenium arch, little figures that dangle in the air, and you can carry out an entire story, depending on whatever the performance is. And it's still being made, but in all sorts of different versions now, which is such a nice idea. It doesn't take very long to prepare them either. And the guy himself, little small chap, but very imaginative too. I like things like that. I picked up quite a number of novelties in this year, 1990. One of them was a football one. There was a lot of Spanish football. Season was very busy, and this was one you had to wear around the neck as a little novelty. So as you pulled it down, it climbed back up the thing. And also, I think from Taiwan, I got this one at Nuremberg. A little cat in the boot. When you squeeze it, it's pneumatic. Up came the kitten, and it disappears again inside. Shoots inside, and each time you press it, up comes the kitten. Meow. Very nicely done. And this one here from a German designer was, it looks like an ice block, an ice cube, but actually it's a little eye, like that. And if I rock it back and forward, it looks like it's blinking at you. Extraordinary effect. Very strange. Very artistic. My favourite one from this time was a friend of mine made a number of these, which occur in Victorian handbooks, on clever optical effects. So this one is an ambiguous one because it looks like a duck, but actually it's a rabbit. Well, no, it's not, it's a duck. Well, no, it's a rabbit. It's both, of course, depending on how you place the piece. I think the Japanese made a third figure, but it didn't work so well, so this one I think is very pure and works extremely well. In getting into more sensible, serious stuff, I found there were two nice gadgets that appeared this year. This one, which I've had 4 or 5 versions of, is a little folding hairbrush or clothes brush. Take out this, put it the other way up, push it in, up come the bristles. You can brush yourself with it, and then when you're finished, close it up again, and they all fall back down again. Very neatly done, and fits very nicely into your pocket. And this one was even neater. That fits extremely well into a breast pocket even. It's a bottle opener. Well, for corks it is. Look at this mechanism here, very simple. That goes down, this climbs in again, and now you've got a perfectly good handle to wind the corkscrew into a wine bottle cork. And it goes back up again into a pocket. Very, very neat mechanism, that. Even more practical are things from the office which I picked up. This is one I think which has been out for about at least 30 years. It's got a very, very sharp blade in it, but the blade is unbelievably small. It protrudes by about 1/10 of a millimetre, if that. So when you run your finger over it, there's no chance you can cut yourself. But if you stroke it down a piece of paper which is on a hard surface like a table and pull it down, it cuts beautifully. But you can't see until you've finished the cut and then lift it up. So there's a series of cuts there made just by stroking it down. Very neat. If you push very hard, sometimes you can get 2 layers, but mostly it's just used for a single layer of paper, which is about all that protrudes by. Also at that time they had this very interesting little letter cutter, which again is becoming a little more universal now. There's a very sharp blade in the middle of that, which again you can't get your hand into or your fingers, so there's no chance of damaging yourself. But if you want to cut an envelope, I've got one. Oh, this is to me, that's nice. So I better cut it open and see what it says. So you just take the blade like this and put it across the top and slice it. Oops. I'm not very good at this one. Oop, try the other end. Just the top bit of it should go. Ah, done it. And I've torn the paper to pieces. Never mind. Oh, there's nothing inside anyway. What a waste. The last few items were a little cute pad for writing messages, and it's getting a bit worn now, but the idea was to run your finger down it and you can write hi, H and an I there, and with a dot at the top and an exclamation mark. And then when you wanted to erase it, you simply lift up the material like that. When it's new, actually, you could write with quite a small with quite a small stylus, and it would keep the message until you're ready to erase it. And I thought that's very neat. And the last item to show you are two very cute little pop-up greeting cards, which go in a very small envelope, but they work so well. I like pop-up mechanisms, and I've never seen ones quite so small as that. Very cute. I think they were Japanese, but it's beautifully done. And the last one, oh yes, it's a little birthday card with the candles. So, 1990 was a good year for me. Bye-bye, or do widzenia.